The case against the city of Norman about the homeless shelter has been dismissed. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson.
And I'm Abby Hollinsworth. OU Nightly reporter Jack Hancock is live at the courthouse where the case was brought before a district judge, excuse me. Jack, what have you learned about the case?
Yeah, Abby, well, today a district judge dismissed that case brought against the city challenging the legality of that election to create a permanent homeless shelter. Residents sued the city, saying that the section of the state constitution they used for this election was not the right one. Now, the Oklahoma State Constitution outlines a couple of ways that cities can vote to take on debt like they would for this project. One of those ways being a 60% threshold for projects that are related to general projects, or a simple majority vote for projects as long as they're related to a public utility. Which brings up the main question for this case: what is a public utility? Well, the plaintiffs argued that a homeless shelter does not meet the broad public use necessary to be considered a public utility. The city argued that prior Oklahoma Supreme Court cases give a pretty broad interpretation as to what a public utility is, meaning a lot of these projects could fit under this umbrella, including a homeless shelter. The judge ruled in favor of the city's motion to dismiss the case, saying the plaintiffs did not have the proper legal argument. The plaintiffs asked the judge for a 30-day stay and a motion to amend their arguments. The judge denied both of these requests. Now, it's important to note that these plaintiffs do have a 30-day period to appeal this ruling, which Mayor Stephen Tyler Holman tells me he expects them to do so. OU Nightly reporter Bryn Mead was with me here at the courthouse this morning, and she has the details on what this could mean for the homeless shelter.
Jack, until that appeal is brought forward, this construction project will continue in the spot that I'm currently standing in. OU Nightly spoke to the mayor before and after the hearing to see from his eyes what this means for the city of Norman. The city is celebrating a tiny victory as the commencement of the Proposition 5 construction project will proceed. The dismissal in court today means that the permanent homeless shelter project on Reed Street will resume. Before the hearing, Mayor Stephen Tyler Holman reminded us that the shelter's purpose is not to reduce homelessness, but rather give those experiencing homelessness a chance at survival.
You know, people are getting out of there. They're getting into housing, they're getting into healthcare, whatever it may be. So I think the new one will allow us to do a much more efficient and better job at helping people get out of there faster. But I don't know that it will reduce homelessness.
He also says the shelter alone will not target the issue of homelessness.
It's, to me, that's got to do with housing and healthcare related issues and employment and economics.
Sean Lloyd, City Care Chief Programs Officer, also had similar things to say about the success of public services like the new shelter project.
It's just been really inspiring to get to work with a city that's so willing to take care of their neighbors.
After the case commenced, Mayor Holman says that the light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer.
Just another glimmer of hope. I think a lot of folks were very pleased with the result of the election and it passing, and us are having the ability to finally take a positive step forward in this.
The 30-day period of waiting for the dismissal to be appealed begins today, but until that happens, the mayor tells us that he will find any workaround to ensure that the shelter project continues. And now for the last time on OU Nightly, Bryn Mead.
Thank you, Jack and Bryn. OU Student Government Association has submitted 2 days as student holidays for the fall semester. If the Board of Regents and President approve the days, the Friday before OU Texas and Election Day will both be days off. The Unscheduled Fall Holiday Act of 2026 was approved by the Graduate Student Senate and Undergraduate Student Congress. If the two holiday requests are denied, the Board of Regents and President Harris will choose the student holiday for next year. Well, Abby, I know it felt pretty great outside walking around here this morning, but it seems like it might not stay that way.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous, but we might be seeing some rain chances in the future. OU Nightly Chief Meteorologist Garrett Tarver is in studio with the forecast. Garrett, what's it looking like?
Well, it is beautiful outside, especially compared to the past few days and this weekend. So if you're planning on enjoying that weather, you're going to want to go out today and tonight because that's going to change as we get into the next couple of days. Our current wind speeds sitting about 10-15 miles an hour, so pretty light. It's a fairly cool breeze coming out of the north as well. Those clouds pretty heavy this morning, but those are dropping on down to the south as we get into the afternoon and evening. And we're going to have some big changes on the way. We're going to talk about those cooler temperatures, increasing rain chances, and a weekend outlook. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Garrett. A change to Norman drivers' routes near campus. Lindsay Street's westbound lane has been closed between Lahoma and Flood Avenue over the last 2 days. According to the City of Norman's website, the closure is for sewer line work related to a project at a house, and the city says questions can be sent to the Utilities Department, whose number is on your screen.
The U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is being questioned today over ongoing war concerns. Madison Dealey has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Yeah, Michael, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is facing tough questions today on Capitol Hill as lawmakers press issues dealing with the Iran war and rising military costs. Members of Congress raised concerns about his recent removal of top military leaders and what that means for national security.
Shame on you for that statement. And statements like that are reckless to our troops. Don't say I support the troops on one hand and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for?
Hegseth defended his plans. However, lawmakers still remain concerned. The rapper known as David is headed to court today for a preliminary status conference hearing. The rapper is charged with killing and dismembering 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her body was found in the suspect's Tesla at an impound lot. Prosecutors say child pornography was also found on the suspect's phone. The rapper has pled not guilty, however, remains in custody without bail in Los Angeles. A judge will decide if there is enough evidence for trial. And another pretrial hearing is set for today for Nick Reiner, who is charged with the killing of his father, former Hollywood director Rob Reiner, and his mother, Michelle. The parents were stabbed to death in their home in December. Just hours after the bodies were discovered, Nick was arrested. The suspect is facing a potential life sentence without parole and the possibility of the death penalty. Reiner's next court date is on September 15th. As the trial continues, we will keep you updated on the latest. Michael, Abby.
Thanks, Madison. Former Cleveland County Sheriff Chris Amison is indicted on embezzlement charges. Coming up, find out when his replacement will get picked.
Plus, Ariana Grande has 99 problems, but a new album isn't one of them. When she's releasing her 8th studio album, stay with us.
Welcome back. We're looking outside. It is a great day, especially the past weekend. We had tons of storms out everywhere. So if you're going outside, you are an outside person, today is the day, because that's going to change as we get into the next couple of days. Those temperatures outside in the mid 60s right now. So nice and cool for us, and we're going to continue to see these cool temperatures as we get into the evening hours. So if you like to go out and run, do it tonight, because we have some rain on the way. 60s across the metro, mid to upper 60s, just slightly cooler than what we normally see around this time, and 60s across the whole entire state. It's pretty much the same thing thanks to that cold front that already moved on through. And those temperatures this evening, we're going to see those 60s drop into the 50s overnight, so a little bit cooler heading into tomorrow morning if you head out to class, or if you like to get up early and study. I don't know how you would do that. I don't do it. But if you do, it's going to be cool. Then as we get into Thursday, you're going to want the rain jacket as well, because rain chances pick up Thursday into Friday. I lowered them a little bit from where we were at yesterday because that system is kind of dropping to the south. And then rain chances come back as we get into next Tuesday and Wednesday. So talking about those rain chances Thursday, Friday. Okay, we have the rain down south of the Red River as we get into this afternoon and evening. Mostly clear skies for us, but into Thursday, okay, around noon, we see some scattered showers across a good part of the state, and then into Thursday evening, we see most of those shift into the Texas Panhandle and then south along the Red River. This is what was different from a couple days ago. We were looking at this system right over us. Now it's shifted south, so we'll continue to see where this sets up. If it sets up further south, they will see the majority of the rain. If it lifts back up north, we might see some rain with that. Now, as far as rain totals go, not a whole lot at this point because of that shift south. Maybe 1/10 of an inch in the central part of the state, and then it's going to be mostly maybe 2-3 inches down towards the DFW metro. Temperatures going to be in the 60s, low 60s into Friday, and then we climb back up into the 70s and 80s through the end of the weekend. Temperatures across the entire region in that 60-degree range, so it's pretty cool out everywhere thanks to that very strong cold front. Lows tonight, like I said, going to be a little bit chillier in the 40s, upper 40s for us with that very, very light north wind, and then highs in the 60s again into tomorrow afternoon. That 7-day forecast for you is coming up after these allergies, which are grass, trees, mold, all high. So enjoy the outdoors, but grab tissue before you go out. Rain chances Thursday, Friday, and then we see 70s move in Saturday and Sunday with 80s to start the next week. Lots of wind for us, and then rain chances pick up again. We could do the rain, but not the storms, because I need to go out and run and not cover tornadoes.
True. So we're either getting a lot of rain or not a lot of rain.
Pretty much. True Oklahoma fashion, a lot or nothing.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Well, the bill that would permanently ban cell phone use in Oklahoma schools is at the governor's desk, pending the governor's signature. The measure would implement a bell-to-bell no-cell policy that was first introduced as a pilot program in 2025. With many school districts giving positive feedback, the bill is also requiring districts to include emergency use exceptions, including accommodations for medical devices.
And Oklahoma elementary schools will now require 40 minutes of recess time. Governor Kevin Stitt signed State Bill 1481 last Thursday, doubling the minimum recess time. The law also prevents schools from taking recess time away as a punishment. And when campaigning for the legislation, Senator Ali Seifert said, as we know, recess is very important for students, not just for physical health of students, but for mental health for students as well. And the law will go into effect next school year.
Well, 3 men are facing murder charges following the 2016 disappearance of a man during a hiking trip in eastern Oklahoma. Court records showed that Tyler Leverett, Charles Shamblin, and Michael Snelling were charged Tuesday with first-degree murder and accessory after the fact. Their charges stem from when the trio went hiking with 24-year-old Michael Fagan in Sequoyah County near Lake Tenkiller in 2016. He did not return and was reported missing. Court records showed the three were arrested then, but were released in 2017 after the case was dismissed due to a lack of evidence. It isn't until 2024 when a hunter found a bone near where the 4 men were hiking, and investigators found more remains in January of this year. OSBI says DNA testing matched the remains as Fagan's. Warrants were issued yesterday, and the U.S. Marshals arrested 1 suspect so far. The case remains ongoing.
Well, switching over to sports, the Thunder took care of business in round 1, but more is to come for the defending champs in the second round.
That's right, Abby. We'll see if SGA and company can keep that momentum rolling, likely without their second star.
And a new NCAA ruling sees a certain OU squad wishing it happened a little sooner. Next in sports. Hello, I'm Cam Williams, and it's time for sports. It's exciting times in the 405 as the defending champion OKC Thunder took care of the 8th-seeded Phoenix Suns in a sweep. In their 4 wins, the Thunder averaged over 120 points per game, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed his leadership, specifically in Game 3, where he had 42 points on 83% shooting. OKC has now swept their first-round opponents in each of the last 3 years, but heading into the second round, they know a different challenge lies ahead.
Every year's a new year, every series a new series, every game's a new game, and so we were just focused on Phoenix and this series.
It'll either be the Lakers or Houston, so they each pose their challenges. Houston is like more defensive and Lakers are more offensive, but they're both really good teams, and to make it out that series, you have to do a lot of things right, so we won't take them lightly either.
According to ESPN, former Sooner and current Laker Austin Reeves is expected to return for tonight's pivotal Game 5 against the Rockets. Reeves, who averages 23 points a game, had been sidelined for the last 4 weeks after straining his left oblique April 2nd versus the Thunder. And more playoff basketball for a former Sooner, as OU legend Buddy Hield and the Atlanta Hawks fell short to the Knicks last night in Game 5 of their first-round series. Hield posted only 5 points in limited action, but his Hawks, down 3-2, will have a chance to tie the series at 3 games apiece tomorrow night. And according to ESPN's Pete Thamel, the NCAA is taking the final steps to expand the March Madness tournament to 76 teams. This ruling takes place after having the previous field at 68 teams. Postseason play has been hard to come by for OU men's squad, but Porter Moser, with this new ruling, would have made the NCAA tournament in 3 out of the last 5 years. And OU women's basketball forward Sahara Williams was named to the USA Women's Basketball 3-on-3 roster last night, and the official FIBA Series season tips off Friday in China. Williams averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds for OU this past season and returns with overseas experience for her senior season. 4 OU softball players were named to the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year list, top 25 list, earlier today. Kendall Wells, Ella Parker, Kai Minor, and Gabby Garcia were a part of a Sooner squad who was the only team with 4 players on the list and one of 6 teams with multiple honorees. Stick with us. We'll have a special goodbye at the desk coming up. We'll be right back.
I'm Sky Clausen at the OU Nightly Update Desk. OU police are investigating after a fountain in the engineering quad was damaged last weekend. I reached out to facilities management and they said these damages were beyond repair. However, they do plan to replace the fountain. The replacement is expected to be under $15,000 and will most likely not be completed by the start of the fall semester. Abby, Michael, back to you.
Thank you, Sky. Garrett, can we take one last look at the forecast? How's it looking?
Oh, you know it, rainy. That's what we're hoping for. We're in that 7-day forecast. We got 60s, much cooler. Those rain chances Thursday, Friday, lower than they were yesterday, but still there. And then into the weekend, we see sunny skies return with 80s into the next week.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, it's the last Wednesday show of the semester, and for all of us seniors, that means it's most of our last times up here at the desk. Abby, for a program that means so much to you, what's been your favorite memory?
I don't think one specific memory comes to mind, but just the friends that I've made here. I know I'll have them for life, and it's been so awesome just to be in this program for the past 8 semesters.
I would agree, Garrett. I know you have a special suit for today.
Yes, this is the same suit I wore 10 semesters ago when I first started.
Oh my gosh.
Cam, what about you?
Sweet.
I would have to say being the host of Game Day, it was an amazing experience.
I don't think we'll be on a cooler show than that for some time. That was definitely my favorite as well. Well, thank you so much for watching OU Nightly. I'm Michael Thompson.
And for the last time, I'm Abby Hollinsworth. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Have a good night.